Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. Whatever this downward spiral we're watching, and Vance, you retweeted Andrea Juncker, who said it's becoming clearer by the hour presidential candidate Trump is President Vance's Trojan horse. This openly planned coup should scare the hell out of all of us. And you just said all of this.
They will weekend at Bernie his ass if he starts to go down before this election. I guarantee it. Like, they will do everything they can to keep him alive, and because he is their best bet to the White House. It's Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, and when he gets in there, they will throw him to the pasture. They will bury him alive. They will take whatever they need. They'll offer to pardon him, which is what I'm sure this whole deal is. I know it's all conspiracy, but I guarantee most of our listeners agree with us.
Yeah, you said that. You said we have to keep Trump out of the White House. That's the only thing that matters. He will hand our country over to Vance and his puppet master, Peter Thiel and Elon. Trump doesn't want to be president. He just doesn't want to go to prison. And his sycophants will see to that. And, I mean, that's what you start to think, oh, this is the plan. This 39-year-old, completely inexperienced senator that was only installed with Peter Thiel money, who wrote Project 2025. That's the real plan. Like, they're watching the same thing we're watching, this demented old man.
And I don't want to jump to 4 years ahead. Let's get Kamala and Tim Walz elected in November, but do not take your foot off the gas. I guarantee, and everyone knows this, J.D. Vance will run against her in 4 years. This is the plan, whether they do it now or do it then. So let's just get her in there and make sure that we can fix as much as possible and get her reelected in 4 years.
Yeah. Also, we've been talking about the Fox interview all morning, and you said, MAGA, Kamala's afraid to go on Fox News. Kamala agrees to Fox News. MAGA, she probably already has the questions, and Brett is in her pocket. They're going to edit it to make her look better. Fox News sucks. They are blindly loyal to their cult leader. Yeah. And, you know, we were saying, Brett Baier obviously had his marching order. First of all, it was all Trump talking points, and he just kept interrupting her. I mean,
absolutely.
That's...
Yeah. Sorry, Steffi, speaking of interrupting. The moment where he asked her, about, whether she thought he was was going to take retribution on his enemies, and she called him out. I'm playing that clip. There's 400 other clips. He played a clip from Fox News in a Fox-friendly audience with a Fox-friendly answer, and I'm glad she called him out. That showed her strength, and it showed that she is not going to put up with this BS when it is put right in her face, no matter who's sitting across from her, even if it's a Trump sycophant, on Fox News. So I thought that moment was pretty brilliant. I'm disappointed in Brett. I thought he had more scruples than he does, and I thought he was a better journalist. And I know that some people were like, "You did?" I actually did. I thought there was an ounce left in him. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah. Well, that's why Trump works the refs, right? Brett Baier's soft. It's going to be terrible, And when Trump says how great the interview was, it's because
that makes Brett Baier defensive when Trump says that, and so Brett Baier's going to go after him harder than he would go after Harris harder than he would go after anyone.
I mean, that's the point of any Fox interview with a Democrat, is just to beat up the Democrats so that the Fox News audience goes, yay! It's anyway. But she was great. I mean, I never, didn't have confidence in her. It's just it's a Brett Baier trap, isn't it, Chris?
It's a Brett Baier trap.
Well, I saw that headline. I think it was Politico that said, that Kamala Harris went bear hunting.
Hey. All right. Bear, no. Okay. Now a story about a bear. Meanwhile, so you were talking about the, compare and contrast. These are all like Trump voters, basically, on Fox. I mean, he's just such a giant, but he still managed to get in. I love how Kamala Harris always says this. His campaign is all about, who can you beat down, including trans people. And hers is who can we lift up? And so here he is answering the trans question.
How do you plan on addressing the transgender issue in women's sports? I have 9 grandchildren, 6 of them female, all playing sports, and we are very concerned for their safety, not just on the field and the courts, but in their locker rooms as well.
Right. It's such an easy question, and everybody in the room, and you know that answer, we're not going to let it happen.
Mm-hmm. Dana, what is the incident of a trans person doing anything to anyone in a locker room?
0. There's more incidents of Republicans doing things to people in bathrooms and locker rooms and public spaces. And it's been documented.
And point of order, I'm not sure the president can unilaterally do anything about this issue.
Yeah.
He can't.
Right.
Okay.
Women playing men, but You don't have to do the volleyball. We stop it. We stop it. We absolutely stop it. You can't have it. It's a man playing in the game. I mean, physically, from a muscular standpoint, even if it was a little bit less, maybe they do all sorts of tests and drugs and everything else. Look at what's happened in swimming. Look at the records that are being broken.
So how do you stop it? Do you go to the sports leagues? Do you go to the Olympic
You just ban it. The president bans it. You just don't let it happen.
You can't.
Oh, okay. Then if that's the case, let's ban guns. If the president bans it and it happens, you know what, Joe Biden? You know what, Kamala Harris? Let's just ban guns.
They're just playing to hate.
Not all guns, but maybe AR-15s. How about that? How about we start there?
By the way, is a Spirit Day today, and it's just like what kind of unbelievably small percentage of people are we even talking about here? What do you hope to accomplish? That a couple of them killed themselves today because they heard that? I mean, it's just, it really is so. It's just the epitome of bullying.
Mm-hmm. You know, this makes my blood boil. I try not to get upset about it in the sense of like losing my composure, but this is such a BS thing that they found through the years. They tried it years ago and it didn't catch. And they did it with marriage equality and they did it with the bathrooms and they tried it years ago and it didn't catch. And then they revamped it and all of a sudden it started to catch. So they're like, oh, let's stay. If you would have paid attention 2 weeks ago, trans women in sports were not even talked about because they were focusing on immigrants. Right. They poll their people to decide who they hate most that week and then they start to make ads about it. It's horrifying. It's embarrassing. And I really hope that we can actually stop this. The route has gone so far down, unfortunately, and I know you've got to.
No,
I
found
finger goes up. I know to stop. When I see a lesbian's
no, I'm
finger
sorry.
up, I stop and I listen.
Wow. Okay. Okay, I was going to make an inappropriate joke, but it's not.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to do anything with my finger to Dana. Listen, my point is that I found the Martin Luther King quote. I will not finger her in a crime or any other.
Stephanie!
I support her.
Far.
We're lucky she plays for you.
Dana.
HR, where is HR?
Yeah, she's right here.
She's right there, the one pointing at you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
I've been looking for this Martin Luther King quote all morning. This was it. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. I mean, that's what this whole election really is about, right? Are we going to beat people down or are we going to lift people up?
That's it. And are we going to bring them together? We know one person's going to do that and the other person's not. Historically proven. It's not like we're pontificating on this. Trump is going to try and further divide and destroy this country. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are going to try and bring it together.
I love that you retweeted. Oh, someone named Gunther tweeted, "Men, don't let your wives ruin America. Make sure they're voting for President Trump." And you just said, Republican women, no one has to know who you're voting for in that booth, not even your husband. That's one of the anecdotal things we're hearing. That's one of the most Googled questions. Can my husband find out who I voted for? Which to me is deeply disturbing in 2024.
Yep.
But
it's horrifying. But did you see that a beautiful but also horrifying story of that 81-year-old woman whose husband died in Georgia? She's voting for the first time because her husband never wanted her to vote. I really hope someone gets a hold and permission of that story and her so that people hear this. Other women in the South and other places hear your husband does not have to control you. You are allowed to have your own voice in this election and you are allowed to go vote. I mean, it broke my heart. 81 years voting for the first time because her husband died, not even because he quote unquote gave her permission to do it. It's just,
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.